Europe is ailing and no one doubts it. EU is utterly wrecked as a result of the current war in Ukraine, whereas it also got very little recovery time after the COVID-19 pandemic. Now the same EU is back with a strategy to win over the public for a very dumb cause, namely climate change. European coffers are utterly empty, but neglecting it, EU is running for another debacle. Today, we'll discuss one of the EU's arguably dumbest decisions following the war in Ukraine. Hello and welcome to TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Vedika, and if you haven't subscribed to the TFI Global channel yet, hit the subscribe button right away. EU Crisis Chief Yanis Lenarčič has called for EU treaty change to fight climate change. According to him, a new EU treaty change could open the door to an EU civil protection force. Reportedly, the European Union is considering expanding Brussels' powers to deal with increasingly frequent climate disasters because, at this moment, the EU has a very limited role in disaster response, as the current framework restricts the European Commission from coordinating backup assistance when governments request help. The EU Crisis Chief suggests that seeing the rising wildfires and natural calamities across the EU, such requests are expected to increase as devastating floods and fires become more common with every tenth of a degree of global warming. Hence, the EU wants to create an EU Civil Protection Force, which was floated as far back as 2006 by then Commissioner Michel Barnier. In July, multiple nations battled catastrophic wildfires that swept across forests and farms that were already completely dammed as a result of the intense heat and ongoing drought. The EU had responded to 6 aid requests compared to 9 throughout 2021. Since mid-July alone, 4 nations, France, Portugal, the Czech Republic and Linares native Slovenia, had requested air support from Brussels. Hence, this was the perfect time for the EU to talk about fighting climate change. The EU now wants entire authority over the fight against climate change. The Commission intends to acquire equipment for emergency logistics and energy supply, including shelters and generators, as well as personnel and machines, to respond to chemical, biological, and nuclear catastrophes. That indicates that the EU's fight against climate change could be a massive task. But why Brussels? How do you show such utter reluctance to the fact that you are about to intensify the already anticipated devastation in Europe? Fighting climate change is undoubtedly a crucial duty, but it is currently a luxury that Europe can't afford. If given the choice between food or the climate, a common man would choose food. At present, the economic crisis in Europe is so severe that many individuals are debating whether to even have a complete meal. Last week, more tension mounted over the Commission as the Eurozone inflation skyrocketed to a record high, piling more pressure on the ECB as surging prices show no sign of slowing. In July, Eurozone inflation jumped to 8.9%, up from 8.6% in June and 8.1% in May. The common Europeans are facing severe hardships while paying for high energy prices, food prices, and other essential commodities. This is all because of the EU's all-nonsensical sanctions on Russia that harmed common Europeans more than Russia. Furthermore, the so-called unity of the EU is also in predicament. The bloc is not entirely anti-Russia at all. Many countries have expressed their willingness to continue having cordial relations with Russia. Hence, there is visible infighting. EU has been taking one stupid decision after another, but this one takes the cake. You better bet that rather than giving Brussels more authority, almost every national government would slam the so-called plan of the EU.